Hello, Wickerson Studios here. I'm just showing a very simple simulation that I'm taking from some of the compilations of uh, Carl Singline scripts. I'm jazzing them up very little. What I'm doing to all of them, you'll see this is a tool path, is I basically use a basic curve over here. I internalize it. I did a little polar array just to do some of the simple geometry anybody would ever do and made a surface so you can visualize that. And I've selected that surface over here so you can actually see it in a baby blue because I've offset by preference colors. I've stayed with a pretty simple mesh that I like to generate just from point clouds, and that was to give a textured kind of, just the illusion of a cloth or something for texture. I guess it could just be smooth because you're basically just spackling something. And then I built a kind of simulation that you're on the inside of a building running up this path, and you can change the angle of your tool pretty quickly by orienting it to the plane point orientation, which I have that could be set. If you wanted, you could just change that to XYZ and have an effect of moving that point out, which would change the tool path, which I think is really messing with it right now. Let me see what happened. There we go. There we go. Just kind of playing around with how that might affect and change if I move that point. And that would change it as it goes all the way around, so you get this weird sloping as you went from one curve to the next curve. Hope that kind of makes sense. So I just customize these scripts, and then I also use this time simulation that I really like, as opposed to the just number slider. I think it's really nice. You can put the time on. And this KukaPrc play, I just found it online. Carl was using it one day, and I just kind of cut and paste it, and I use it all the time in my scripts because I prefer it over top of this. And then I add Hologram. If I'm nuts, I can put it all in here, and then you can't see anything to Hologram if I activate this. And I can bring in both geometries, the surface and the tool path, but I think I'll just leave that off and activate my Hologram, enable. And now I'm able to, I believe, what happened here, enable, sync objects, my geo, the point is not supported right now. Well, that's interesting. What did I do? Probably have to reset my Kuka. Let me reset that one, see if that has an effect. No. Preview on. I'm not sure what I did wrong with preview off. I best just take it off, disable. Anyway, you can bring it into the Hologram. I just had a little bit of trouble with it. The point, there's probably, it's probably still doing it. Let me just go here, enable, and preview. Sorry, I'm fudging around. Let me just throw in my surface edit. There we go. You can see what's happening. So technically, you can go inside. And so that's where it is a Hologram. My kids could be in here. It's kind of hard to see inside. And they could follow the path of these tools. And I've got this one janked around on a weird angle because I was playing with this. So I'll put that back to that surface. And keep in mind that I actually fudged around the point for orientation. So we'll bring it back to Z. And I think you'll see, basically it's following the path. So the kids could technically be in this building with a virtual robot. I could possibly build it out of fragments or sides with plywoods, or I could do an inflatable, and they could actually follow along at whatever pace I want. And I could go slower if I take my uh, edit tool here and decide to give them a little more time. Let's go up to 260 seconds and hit play, so they can move a little slower and they can follow those paths. And as long as they understand what a spatula is, I can train my very young kids to think about, smoothing the internal surface of a building. It's probably not that engineered and functional, but these exercises are pretty fun to play with. I can take this one and turn it to disable and put this one back on. You'll see that's a nice slow path. Depending on a curve, and if you wanted to change the geometry of what you're working on, it's not too hard. Bring that one out. And the only thing is I probably have to reset, and if I don't, I could at least internalize. Oh, I internalized the command, so let's set one more to that. There you go. So you get the ability to kind of pull and push this form and have a parametric model that the robot tries to mimic and copy. And no matter what form you end up making or tinting, you could hard code it from the inside and from the outside with a augmented reality simulation. Remember, you do that through Hologram AR, and you can grab your QR code and send that right to your phone, and then you've got a model that you can bring out into space. And I guess I should probably just do that for a second, but then I'd have to do it on my phone. All right. Little chaotic this morning. Kids are still here. I'm having fun, and thank you, Carol Singline, for your tests. I think I am playing with them in a very basic way, but making some very interesting models. And of course, you know that all the engineering in the world still gets down to the real world, and you're going to have problems. So you want to kind of mimic and mock that, but I like this kind of tinted form. Thanks for watching.